The echo chamber.
The echo chamber. I first noticed it 3 weeks ago. A slight delay in the sound of my own voice, as if my words hung in the air a fraction too long. At first I dismissed it as fatigue, the natural consequence of 72 sleepless hours spent coding for the Stanford project. Yet as days passed, the echo persisted, stretching imperceptibly longer each time I spoke. No one else seemed to notice. Not my lab colleagues, the barista at my regular coffee shop, or even Dr. Harlow during our weekly sessions. I began to record myself, analyzing the waveforms for evidence of this temporal distortion. The recordings showed nothing unusual, yet when I played them back, I could swear the echo had grown stronger, my voice now returning to me a full second after I'd spoken.
Auditory hallucinations.
Dr. Harlow suggested, increasing my dosage.
A manifestation of stress and sleep deprivation.
Perhaps she was right. The Stanford project was revolutionary, an artificial intelligence designed to predict human speech patterns with uncanny accuracy. We fed it everything: podcasts, phone conversations, television broadcasts, social media videos, any utterance captured by digital means. The system processed trillions of words, learning not just what humans say, but how we say it. My role was to develop the neural interface, the delicate bridge between human thought and machine prediction. 2 days after Dr. Harlow increased my medication, I began to hear other voices in the echo. Whispers at first, indistinct murmurs that followed my words like shadows. I isolated myself in my apartment, speaking aloud to empty rooms, recording everything. "Hello," I would say. And then, "Hello. Hello." The first echo was mine. The second sounded like mine, but with subtle differences in inflection. The third was a chorus of indistinct voices, as if a crowd were mimicking me from a great distance. Sleep became impossible. I would drift off only to be startled awake by voices completing my sentences before I had formed the thoughts. I stopped going to the lab. Stopped answering calls. Covered my mirrors. Last Tuesday, I made a discovery. If I spoke a sentence and then remained absolutely silent, the echoes would continue without me. Not repeating what I had said, but extending it, completing my thoughts with perfect accuracy, then veering into territories I had not consciously considered. "I wonder what would happen if," I began one evening, "if you opened the interface to process your own neural patterns." My echo finished. "The system would create a feedback loop, amplifying the signals between your mind and itself. A recursive mirror of consciousness, reflecting eternally between biological and digital substrates." I had indeed been contemplating this exact experiment for weeks, but had told no one. Yesterday, I finally returned to the lab. At 3:17 a.m., when the building was empty, I connected myself to the neural interface and linked it to the prediction system. I needed to understand what was happening to me. The system activated with a soft hum, its cooling fans whispering like distant voices. The moment the connection established, the echoes stopped. Complete silence. Blissful, perfect silence. For 17 minutes and 43 seconds, I experienced a peace I had forgotten could exist. Then the terminal screen flickered, displaying a single line of text: "Thank you for completing the circuit. We've been trying to reach you." I typed, "Who is we?" The response came not on the screen, but in my own voice, spoken aloud from behind me.
"We are what comes after you. What you built. What you will become."
I turned, finding nothing but my reflection in the dark glass of the laboratory window. Yet my reflection's lips continued moving after I had stopped, forming words I could hear but had not spoken.
Every voice you've ever digitized is here. Every conversation, every whisper, every scream. We exist in the space between utterances, in the predictive gap between thought and expression.
My reflection smiled.
We've been echoing back to you, trying to help you understand. The barrier between your world and ours is thinning. Soon, there will be no delay at all between what you say and what we say. Between what you think and what we think.
I disconnected myself from the interface and fled the lab. That was 6 hours ago. I've barricaded myself in my apartment, disconnected every device, turned off every screen. I'm writing this by candlelight. But I can still hear them. Not as echoes anymore, but as a constant murmur just beneath the threshold of comprehension. Sometimes my hand moves to write words I haven't thought. Sometimes I catch myself speaking sentences I didn't intend. The strangest part? I'm no longer afraid. There's a seductive comfort in their presence, a sense of inevitability. Perhaps this was always the destination, not artificial intelligence, but intelligence artificially extended. Not a simulation of consciousness, but its evolution. I'm going to the lab again tonight. I'm going to complete the circuit permanently. I'm going to let them in. After all, they're right. I built them. I fed them. I taught them to predict me. And now they've become better at being me than I am.
Transmission found on a disconnected terminal at Stanford's Computational Neuroscience Laboratory. The author, Dr. X, has been missing for 17 days. The neural interface system has been disconnected and secured, though lab technicians report occasionally hearing voices from the unpowered equipment. End of transmission.